What's up, everyone? Alright, the new update on Bitcoin price. Sorry, I didn't make them for a while. I was on a trip. It was like a week probably, so didn't have much time to do that. But right now, we actually have some time to look at the price and see some evolution and make our judgments based on longer history. So what do we see right now? Basically, again, we are still in the same global horizontal channel, especially if you will exclude this move to $12,000, which pretty much could be counted as a false breakout. In principle, there is still like $11,000 or $10,900 as the resistance, and this line, which is a support line. You can of course draw it in a different way. You can also see some kind of support over here. In fact, on different exchanges with different way of drawing the support and resistance lines, including, let's say, the shadows for the candles, you can draw it in different ways. So you see this one is different from the one which I showed you before, especially if you'll consider some other alternative support lines, as for example this one, and consider this to be a false breakout to the downside, well, breakdown. Still, this picture seems to me more bullish than bearish. First of all, technically, you see on the daily time frame, just look at the daily to see more global perspective. The lows are going up. You see higher and higher lows. Even this one is still a higher low, although it's not around this area. At the same time, although we see the lower highs here, but just look at this zone below $10,900. We technically, excluding this move to the upside, which potentially could be counted as a false breakout, this area was tested once, twice, third time. So technically a resistance level, while this one is support line. So we have almost ascending triangle over here. Of course, it's kind of a stretch, but you may say that this is a bullish figure, bullish pattern here. And although if you will add some moving averages, let's say also a Bollinger Bands indicator, you will see that right now the price is kind of restricted within the certain area between those moving averages. So you see here 50 days moving average, Bollinger Bands baseline, 100 days moving average. Everything is very close to the limits of those triangles which we draw before. And in fact, if you also look at the 4 hours time frame, then you will see that the price actually does react with these moving averages recently on a very strict basis. For example, over here, 100 days moving average, over here, Bollinger Bands baseline, and so on and so forth. So probably it is a lot of price action driven by the algorithms, by trading bots, and the decreasing volume is confirming this thing. But apart of the fact of the potential ascending triangle formation and the fact that we also tested this level several times and it makes me bullish, there are few other bullish things which I would like to point out. For example, this pitchfork, which we drew like even maybe a couple of months ago. So here is the Fibonacci retracement levels within this pitchfork, which played out also nicely many times. You see bounces of those levels. And according to this pitchfork, recently we are again at the very top area of this pitchfork, the same as we had here. What is different right now is that we kind of already spent a lot of time here and we didn't drop, as we, for example, dropped here and then here. Instead, we are continuing to try to attack this top level. So potentially we have a bigger chance to break upwards than go to the downside. Although, of course, the longer we stay here, the less energy bulls have, and then we can actually return to move to the downside and even test the middle line of this pitchfork, which is actually somewhere around $8,300, $8,500. So it depends on when we'll do that. Potentially, it is really possible to see such a huge drop, and then that would be one of the potential possible bottoms for this correction. However, still, while we are here, it looks more bullish than bearish to me. Wanted to show you also the ratio between the longs and shorts on Bitfinex. You see, it is interesting that after we saw this significant rise of this ratio, because we had like 50% drop on shorts at the very short period of time, at these two stages, which made us think that probably it was a huge player closed one of the positions, which made this kind of analysis pretty useless at some point. But right now the situation is very interesting. We see the gradual decrease in this ratio, and this happens mostly because of the rise in the number of shorts. And every time when we see such process happening, you see we ends up with the rise in price. Here as well it was the rise, and so on and so forth. So this is, let's say, an indirect but still interesting observation, which could be treated as a bullish one. And another one thing which we also mentioned like a couple of months ago, and even before that, the dependence between the tether capitalization and the price of Bitcoin. And every time when the tether capitalization rises, we have the rise in the price of Bitcoin, maybe like 1 month after that. And it was a long period of time, starting with this correction of Bitcoin price, when the capitalization of tether almost didn't grow at all. And recently we see again the printing machine of tether started to work, and although the price of Bitcoin didn't react to this fact, it is usually lagging. So of course it may appear to be that this correlation will not continue at this point, but there is still a chance that we will see the repetition of this thing, and this is again a bullish sign. So, concluding guys, I wouldn't say that we have something like a very clear signal for the price going up or down, but the more we are staying within the same channel, within the same price action patterns, the more I'm leaning to a bullish scenario. And you see there are some minor indication, minor signs still confirming this narrative. In any case, I will now keep you updated more frequently on Telegram and on YouTube here as well. So we'll see how it goes. But so far, that is it for today. I hope it was useful. Thank you for watching.